Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Biz Dev Podcast, the podcast about developing your business. I'm David Baxter, your host, and we are talking to Scrooge McDuck, also known as Gary Voigt. What's up, man? We're keeping it with our tradition, this or that, except for we have no guest because I'm sad because I don't get to talk to you now.
That means that I get to actually answer these and you don't just skip right over
You
me.
answer them every time. You do. You stick your in and say, I want to answer. Let pick on me.
Look at Mr.
That's what
Thought
you sound
Leader
like
over
in my
here,
head.
like a fourth grader trying to pick on me.
That's fair. Fourth grader. I look like a fourth grader. I'm about the height of a fourth grader. All right.
Fourth grade gym coach. No, I'm just kidding.
Fourth grade gym.
I'm
I
gonna
am
buy you
wearing
those
those
bike
shorts right
shorts.
now. Yeah, I'm wearing them right now. What are you talking about?
Dude, have
All
you
right.
been watching Stranger Things?
No, I watched the first
Okay,
season
then we will
and then
not
I
talk
didn't
about
pick
it.
it up. My daughter's
We will
into it,
not
but
talk
I'm
about it.
not into it. Okay. This or that.
All right.
We just had Thanksgiving. It's getting to be Christmassy time. Are you the type who does traditional turkey on both holidays, or do you mix it up?
Since I married into a family that is Italian, they have specific traditions around Christmas. Since then, it's been like a turkey Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is usually like pasta and maybe ham.
Pasta and
Some
ham?
sort of
Oh, just in
an
combo.
elaborate pasta dish, and then maybe sometimes a ham or a pork loin as a secondary thing, not as part of the main dish. Just
not the main
to
dish.
accommodate the non-Italian people who might be joining
gotcha.
us.
Growing up, I was a double turkey. That's my mom cooked like twice a year.
That's
right?
too much
That was
turkey,
It. Everything
man.
is. It was a lot of turkey.
Your
I don't
insides
mind
have
it.
to be able to hydrate back to normal after the first turkey because they're usually way too dry. Two turkeys
Dude,
in 1 year.
Last year, I'm going to toot my own horn. Last year, we bought a brisket and we bought a turkey, and my turkey was so good that no one ate the brisket. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you do it right, it's acceptable. But there's occasions where it's just no one wants to go through all the prep work, so you just end up with
It takes a good
Dry
bit of
ass
effort.
turkey.
Yeah, spatchcock it. That's what I do. man.
Yep,
That's the best.
brine it, spatchcock.
All right. Are you a Christmas Eve present guy or a Christmas Day present guy?
All right, when I was a kid, the more I could open on Christmas Eve, the happier I was. When my young children were young, Christmas morning was the main event. Maybe one on Christmas Eve just to get them excited. As I've gotten older and they've gotten older, either way is fine with me as long as we're all able to be together for a little while. What about you?
Very good.
I adapt.
I had never known that you could do gifts on Christmas Eve until we went to my sister-in-law's house. And they were like, what?
Your family
You
kept
don't-
that secret.
We just always like growing up, it was always Christmas Day, except for when I was with my dad, that was different. But with kids, it's always been Christmas Day. And then we go to their
Yeah.
house a few years ago and they were like mad at us because we didn't want to open our presents. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, as a kid, the one or two gifts on Christmas Eve, and it was usually like just a small stocking thing or something. It always just seemed like something kind of like you were getting away with something sneaky in preparation for the rest of the gifts. Ooh, I get sneak a gift. But
Sneak an extra one.
ooh, wait, I got one.
Okay, go for it.
It's not really a this or that, but okay, yeah, it is. I'll phrase it in a way it's this or that. Did you try to sneak peek at gifts before they were wrapped or not?
No, I actually was very anti. I like surprises and I like to be surprised when I open them. One year, I'll tell you a traumatic story. One year, my brother, who's 4 years older than me, he went and did his little sneak peek and he opened my gifts. And he was mad at me. I cannot remember why. I'm pretty young at this point, under 10 years old for sure. He is mad at me and he yells at me all of my Christmas gifts. And I'm in a ball, again, think of little me, in a
that's
ball,
messed up.
trying to hold my ears because I did not want to hear. So I am very anti-peeking. It's gotten now to the point of how can we make the gift so different that you can't pick it up and notice it. We'll put cans and rocks in a gift card.
Yeah.
Or we will open a Lego and hide the
Box
Legos.
inside of the box inside of the box.
Yeah, we don't like to spoil anything. So no, I'm very anti peeking. Are you a peeker? You look like a peeker.
When I was younger, let's just say I developed the skills of a cat burglar.
So would you untape
I mean,
perfectly?
let's just say my mom used to wrap them as soon as they were bought to try to make sure we didn't know what they were. But I was able to take a razor blade to the Scotch tape and cut it exactly at the seam and peak, and then put
Oh,
it back and fold
wow.
it, and then tape exactly over the Scotch tape again, so no one knew I peaked. It's a lot of
That's
effort for very
hardcore.
little reward, and then eventually I was just like, stupid.
It's not worth it. Man, no, I don't even like letting my kids pick it up and doing the shake test. I hate that. It's like now become like now my kids are old now, but when they were little, my son was really good at it. He'd be like, action figure. I'm like, what are you doing? I hated it. Anyway.
Do you buy gifts for your dogs?
Yes.
Of course. You gotta.
We keep Chewy in business. It's just, we bought the ball that vibrates.
Okay.
And it's funny. My dog will play with it for 5 minutes and get scared and run away from it. So it's really great.
So since this is the end of the year, in a way, instead of doing a formal like year in review, I was thinking maybe we could talk about what our hopes and outlook for the year was back in January, February, and then how it transpired actually and ended up, what changed, what's different.
So when I went into this year, I thought it was going to be a normal year. AI existed. AI had started. It wasn't anything completely
In a way,
new,
it was
but then
exciting because we were learning the pitfalls. We were promised a lot from the people creating AI products for us to use, but then we were also learning what it couldn't do. But it seemed to keep like advancing fast enough to where it was like almost there, almost there.
I think to me is if you had asked me in January what the end of the year would like in terms of AI, I would have been completely wrong. Because to me, at the beginning of the year, AI would do completions and it would let you do research really fast and it would let you look up API documentation really fast. And that was all very helpful. Did I think that by the end of the year, AI would be writing massive amounts of code? No. And that is what's happened. That's what I think is so interesting. We have changed so dramatically in 1 year. Like our entire industry is different than it was a year ago. I would not have foreseen that.
From the design perspective, we were promised a lot with image generation and image correction, and that slowly got better over the course of the year. But we were also, I wouldn't say promised, but there was also this idea of AI creating designs and wireframes and full-fledged high-fidelity software, UI and UX. That still falls flat. Now, we do have a lot of the apps that create stuff for you, Figma Make, and there's like Lovable and all those other things they can pull UI elements from different libraries, even your own, and try to put together like an app or some sort of UI and UX. And it's still very rudimentary and very basic. Like it gets the idea in the most basic way, and things just don't seem to go together as promised. So there's an impressive amount of improvement in image generation and editability, but not enough improvement in the actual UI UX generation that I expected.
I would say when it comes to design, I have been very disappointed.
Yeah.
In the promises versus like in AI software development, man, it's been amazing. It's truly changed everything. And if you're not doing it, you're behind. We're to that point. It's not mature, but it's maturing and it's changing, and our world has changed dramatically. Design hasn't. Yes, those image generators are neat. And I think I've mentioned before, I used to be building a video game. And when I was playing with it, I can't draw. I have no artistic talent. But I would always be hamstrung because I'd have to go buy other people's art. And you can use image generators for simple things like that. When I was doing, it was 2D, so it was flat, simple images. But the idea that I could say, go from one of your Figma designs and turn that into code, like that was the big promise.
Yeah,
And
that was the
man,
dream.
that doesn't work. That doesn't
No,
work at all.
not
I
at
mean,
all.
like not any, I don't even see how we get there. We're so bad. And like what you can do, it's interesting, right? If I am a developer who didn't have a Gary, I might have a very different view on this because what you can do is say, make me a nice looking login form and it will do that, right? It'll make you a pretty nice thing and it might add some really cool little animations and things to make it look nice if you're not a designer, right? And you could build an entire app that looks better than what you could have designed before on your own because you don't do design. And that's neat. And so maybe if I was looking at it from that angle, maybe it has advanced more. The problem is we have a Gary who makes these gorgeous designs that and I have this button. And literally there's a button in Figma that says, turn this into code. And the code it makes is poo-poo. It's useless. You cannot use it. You have to start over. It's so bad. And that's where maybe I'm spoiled in one way because I have you making these amazing designs. But if I didn't have you, if I was just a dev shop without a Gary, which is very common, most are like that. I wonder if we're shortchanging it. Like Tila, we didn't use you initially to design you up with color palettes and stuff like that. And Tila turned out pretty nice. It's simple, but it turned out nice. And now you're coming back behind to add your whirligigs and pretty stuff on top, which is just a very backwards way that we normally build things. So that's
just refining it overall to make it more consistent.
Make it more consistent, make it look good. And that's one thing. And now I'm rambling, but that's one thing I would say AI is really bad at is consistency. And that's
I was going to ask, like, how hard is that process? Taking something that AI has already created and then just making small tweaks. Do you have to do it on a like screen by screen level, or can you make like a universal change to the design system or like spacing system, page structures, or
if you've built it, it has that's the thing. When you see these things that say, hey, write a prompt and it'll make you an app. That's a lie. And even if it does build something, there's no consistency there. Every screen will have its own header and own footer and all this stuff. It's kind of like you went back in time. And so making changes like that is a real pain. But if you beat on AI and you tell it, you make it follow rules, you can make it consistent. And then you can make global changes to a point. Relatively straightforward. Like when you give me something fancy to put in, like my sidebar is a component that can be reused. And I've been very careful to make sure it's a reusable thing. So I change it in one place and it changes everywhere. Great. That's how software is supposed to work. But if you just leave AI to its own druthers, it's going to make 17 side panels.
Yeah. So while AI is getting smarter, we're getting smarter about how to use it better to make it actually.
That's been the big thing. Getting better at AI is a skill set. And I was telling somebody the other day, he was a new developer and he was like, what skills am I learning now? I don't feel like I'm not writing code anymore. And I said, very matter of factly, do not sell short the skills you're building to talk to AI. Just like there were skills to talk to Google, just like there were skills to do any of these new things, there will be people who can use AI effectively and there are people who cannot. And that will be a huge divider.
A friend of mine and I had this conversation just the other day where so do you see the whole junior developers like not having jobs anymore? I'm like, only if the junior developer decides that they're going to learn one language and stick with it and they're not willing to go any further, because that's just a mindset thing now. A junior developer's job description is just different now. They might not have to learn a specific code, but they might have to learn how to use AI. So a junior developer is just going to be how good you are at knowing like the framework and structure of programming and developing and what goes into it, and then how to use AI in order to achieve that.
One of the things I'm actually really excited about in 2026 is we are going to try an experiment. And I'm going to flat out call it an experiment because I have no idea if it's going to work. But let me back up. I only bring this up because you mentioned junior developers. And boy, it's a bad time to be a junior developer right now. It just is a bad time. You're coming straight out of college. That is a rough place to be right now. And I really feel for that because I'm really big into the pipeline. And that's for all sorts of things like hiring the next generation of coders so they don't look like me. I'm really big into that. I really think investing in that next generation is important. And I think AI is becoming part of that investment. So one of the experiments we're going to do is see how this works. We haven't hired a junior developer in many years. because we bury them. Just they're the other people train the juniors, we take the seniors. Now I feel this onus. Since other people aren't training the juniors, I feel like maybe we need to step up. So what we're thinking about doing as the experiment is bringing on an intern and trying to create our own AI coder. Like you're a junior coder, and we're going to see, all right, you're going to work with our seniors, you're going to work with Scott and our leaders, and we're going to make you use AI and become a good coder using AI. This is the next generation of coder. It might fail miserably. I have no idea, but that is something I'm excited about to try. I want to see, can we do that? Because the truth of the matter is, if there are no juniors, there are no seniors in 5 years. If we stop training the noobs, we don't get seniors. And that means we all start suffering. And that's just something that as an industry, we've got to solve. And I think that's true for more than software development, but you need copywriters. You need junior copywriters.
Yeah,
you need junior
I think it's
everything.
just a lot of the job descriptions are changing because you're still going to have levels. People still need to be able to learn in advance and move forward. I think it's just a matter of how we incorporate the AI into each one of those job types and how productive that person can be based on how much knowledge they have, not just of the subject matter, but the subject matter with the assistance of AI. And then, like you said, going from junior to senior is probably just going to be how good they get at utilizing the AI tools to their advantage and being more consistent. But the foundational stuff is still going to be relevant in any aspect of those jobs.
You still got to know how to code. And that's why we can't just let them off and say, go build some stuff with AI, because it'll be trash. AI slop is real, man. But I think there's something to that. So that's something I'm very excited about. All right, I got one for you.
All right.
Hot takes for 2026. Do you have one?
You want me to put my future hat on?
Future hat on. I'll start. So I'll give you time.
Year 2000.
Here's my hot take. And I'm not this. My caveat to this is I don't know. It's not going to be 2026.
26.
Oh my gosh. What is happening?
Okay. Anybody who watched Conan gets it.
Out.
You're just lame.
Fair. I'm not going to say that this is a 2026 prediction, but here's my hot take. I am more and more convinced that OpenAI is the Netscape navigator of AI companies.
Okay. There's two things happening with them right now that are really making me mad at them.
So let me give you, for those who are not nerds, let me give you some context. Netscape Navigator was the very first commonly used browser. It was made by a company called Netscape, who I wish I could remember who the founders were, but they're big names in today's world. They made $1 bazillion, and that was supposed to be the future. And Microsoft came in and said they used their power in the business world to say, we're going to make a browser, and we're going to put stuff that makes it so things only work in our browser. That was Internet Explorer. And so since they had all this business clients using Office and Windows and all this, they put on all these things and said, hey, your business software works better on IE6. You should use it. Or it was IE2 or 3 or whatever it was back then. And it came to a head to the point where it was so bad that they got sued for being a monopoly.
And do you know who the founders were?
Things apart. Oh, who were the founders?
Netscape. Mark Andreessen?
Yeah,
or Andreessen? I'm
Andreessen.
not sure how to pronounce it. Mark Andreessen and James H. Clark. Jim Clark.
So Andreessen is Andreessen Horowitz, who's one of the largest investors on the planet. He's the Andreessen of that. I knew that. I knew it was one of those huge names. Anyway, the other guy I don't think I know off the top of my head. So my prediction is that OpenAI, which everyone thinks of ChatGPT as AI, right? Most people think of it as they don't even know.
They've become the Kleenex of AI.
They're the Kleenex. Yeah. They go and you chat. You go to chat. It's gotten to that point. Like my mother-in-law, she's 80 years old, very tech savvy for an 80-year-old, but she goes, I'm going to go chat. And she AI questions all day. She has no idea there even is a Claude. She has no idea that there's a Gemini, except for when Google constantly tries to sell you. You want Gemini now? How about now?
Yeah.
Anyway. So my prediction is OpenAI is going to go away. Someone's going to eat them. And here's why I say that. I read an article, it was like the Atlantic or New York Times, and they did the math of all of the contracts that OpenAI has made for the year up to 2030, so 4 years from now. They have committed to various companies $620 billion in compute contracts, meaning they're buying that much room on data centers. $620 billion. You would need like $1 trillion in revenue to be able to meet that commitment plus all your other expenses. And I don't think today there's $1 trillion revenue company. Say again?
They're putting ads in the chat now.
That is not $1 trillion business, man.
No.
And I'm not even talking about valuation. That's what's important. There's not a single $1 trillion annual company right now. Not NVIDIA, not Meta, not Apple. None of them make $1 trillion a year. They're worth trillions. NVIDIA is worth just over 5 right now, but no one's making $1 trillion a year. So that means that to do this, everyone is betting that OpenAI is going to make more money than any company currently in existence. And I just don't think that's possible. And I think Microsoft, my call is Microsoft's going to eat them within the next 5 years.
Maybe they're just going to make it in Bitcoin and crypto. That way it doesn't really have to exist.
NFTs to you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude, it's my hot take. I've told that to a couple of people and they think I'm crazy. Maybe I am.
We're starting to see it every time they come out with something new. A couple weeks later, there's another article written about like how much power their data centers are consuming, how much power just their stupid little Sora app that's just like a promotional piece of the videos, the AI TikTok or whatever. Like how much data and money that consumes for almost nothing back for them.
It made no revenue at all.
They're not making any revenue. So they're thinking throwing ads in there, like how Google made a ton of money off ads in their search. They're doing the same thing. They're trying.
But even if you do, that's the thing. Even if you do that and you become as big as
soon
Google,
as
it's
they
still
do
not big
that,
enough.
someone's going to leave ChatGPT and look for something else. Because they're going to be like, I came here because I'm sick of Google's ads. I don't get any results. I got 4 pages of ads before I get results. That's probably what it'll turn into.
The key to no one was mad at Google for many years. Google got greedy. There is a book out. It's called Enshittification, which is a great word. And it's the process in which companies go from good to bad. And it's really interesting because you can, once you hear the process, you'll start to know the companies that did this. So the way it works is you come out with a product that customers love. They love it. And they start using it. And then you as the company say, okay, they're hooked. So we're now going to focus on the business side and focus on our business users, the guys making us money. Okay, great. So the customer experience goes down a bit, business goes up a bit because now they're getting their stuff. Now they're both hooked. The consumers are hooked. The businesses need your product to live. So now we don't care about either. You're both stuck. So now we start turning the gears so we make all the money. And that all the stuff goes to making it that everything is for us, not for the consumer, not for the business, but for us. And you start to see those gears turn. And now everyone's addicted to your product, but we all hate it. Google is a great example of this. Amazon has done the same thing. Google was the best search engine ever, and then had had ads, and no one really minded the original ads, right? They were fine.
Adobe
they were over in the corner.
Is in that space right now.
Adobe's definitely in that space. You've got that, but if you look at Google, you had the ads on the side. No one minded that. Google made billions of dollars doing that. And then they started making it, the business people want more ads. Okay, let's put them at the top. Okay. People still were fine with it. And then it was, okay, now the business people are so addicted, we're going to turn it, now we're going to advertise our products. Because now everyone's stuck. They're all here. So we don't care about you anymore. Where else are you going to go? So they turn the screws again. Now they advertise all their own products and everyone hates it. That's that flow. And now that you've seen that flow, it makes so much sense. Facebook's done it. Amazon's done it. Oh, yeah. Google's done it. They all do it. And I think ChatGPT is still in the consumer phase, right? However, it's free. It's magical. I can ask all my questions. It's all great. It's so great. But you're right. Then they're going to start adding some ads. And then they're going to start adding more ads. And then they're going to start advertising their own products. And it's just a self-loop and everyone hates it. All right. That was my long-winded hot take. Did you come up with one in my long-winded rambleness?
I thought I joined in the hot take. I have
You're
to
just
have a
joining
separate
into
one.
my hot take?
All right. My separate hot take is we're still not going to have self-driving cars.
Okay. I'm going to challenge you. Waymo is going to supposedly go from 5 cities to 100 cities next year. Is that self-driving cars to you?
No, no one's buying it
Taxis
and
don't count?
driving wherever they want in the city. No, because those are going to be, they're going to be self-driving and they're going to navigate a predetermined area, but they're not going to be the promise of you get in, put it into the destination, and cameras and AI are going to get you there safely.
Big Pixel builds world-class custom software and amazing apps. Our team of pros puts passion into every one of our projects. Our design-infused development leans heavily on delivering a great experience for our clients and their clients. From startups to enterprises, we can help craft your ideas into real-world products that help your business do better business.
It's funny when it comes to all this technology stuff. I know I'm getting old, but even my kids who are not old, 19 and 17, they are struggling to keep up. And it used to be, if you went back 100 years ago, your life versus your grandparents' life wasn't much different, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, my parents had vinyl and 8-track and then cassettes, and then slowly from there, like, they were a little older, but then they CDs and stuff. Like, in my generation, I've seen all of that, plus now all the way into like high-speed streaming and stuff. Like, just small things like that. The advancement is just, it's getting faster and faster.
It is crazy. And to the point where I think we're going to see these massive changes more and more often, which it's like, humans need time to adapt. And that's what's going to be very interesting. You know, you had color TV, and then you had the internet? Is that probably the next big jump, maybe?
VHS.
Personal computers. No, I'm missing personal computers.
Yeah.
You're talking mid-late 80s. What's that?
That was a big thing back when that happened. Commodore 64s.
Sure.
IBMs.
Personal computers, your IBM in your house, being able to do that stuff, Excel, Windows, all that stuff, big deals. And then you had the internet, then you had mobile, and now you have AI. Think how large each of these shifts are. These aren't small things, like even black and white to color. Not life-changing, amazing, but not like the whole world just shifted.
Right.
These are world-shifting technologies, and they're happening on a cadence of every 5-10 years now. Oh, that's a lot, man. Now I know I need to pull out my walker and go take a...
No, it's like one of those pivotal moments, and I think there was someone who had a video, an anthropologist, who was talking about like the 80-year span of like life-changing events in human society, and we're right in the middle of the pinnacle of where that's going to change and progress really fast into the technological future. Like, one of the other examples was the Industrial Revolution. This is the technological revolution.
There was a poster that showed me, I just saw this a few years ago, it blew my mind. The difference between the Wright brothers and space is less than 60 years.
Yeah. It was like yesterday.
That's crazy. I don't know. It's interesting. When I get to the end of the year, I always get like waxing nostalgic and thinking of stuff like on a bigger picture. And it's crazy. And again, I know I'm old, but dude, it's tricky. Now, I will say I have not enjoyed coding as much as I have this year in a very long time.
You mean you haven't enjoyed it until this year? Like, it's more fun now.
I love coding. I've been a coder for 25 years. It's what I do. I love it. But I got off the tech train 8 years ago, right? I stopped learning new languages because I had people to do it for me. That sounds weird, but that's true. They were younger and faster.
You had to run the business, so you had
I had other things to do.
Doing the actual coding. Yeah.
And so this year, I decided that I was going to learn AI and how to lead my company through AI and become an AI dev shop. And I'm the canary in the coal mine. So I'm the one jumping in and making the mistakes so that the team doesn't. And that process has been so much fun for me. And I didn't expect that. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It does come with some black eyes for sure. I've made mistakes and you just own them and move on because it's what it is. But I think we've created something pretty unique. I think one of the things, I think maybe I've said this before, but I saw a study that the average AI empowered developer, however you want to say that, gets 20% faster using these tools. We have clocked our guys are 33% faster.
Yeah.
So we consider that a competitive advantage. We can move fast. We can do better code, better code, more secure code using these tools than a lot of our competitors. And that is just because we're just diving in, and that's so much fun, and there's so much there, and it's never stopping. That's what's tiring about it. But it's just been one heck of a roller coaster. I don't even remember what I was answering, but there you go. It's been a lot of fun.
You were getting nostalgic because you said at the end of the year you always get nostalgic. So your nostalgic waxing was how much you like coding again.
It's been a lot of fun. It really has. Building Tila has just been so much fun.
Yeah, speaking of Tila, do you want to give a prediction of where you think it's going to be, say, by April?
Let's see. So this is not a secret. We are aiming to release version 1 into beta early next year, January of next year. Will that happen? I don't know. So by the time you guys hear this, it'll be pretty far along. We're getting very close. We're testing it. We have our pilots going. So my hope for spring would be that we are in full-fledged beta with real beta clients that are paying money to use Tila. We're not going to charge full rate. I don't even know what full rate means yet, but we're going to charge a discount if you are willing to jump on board with us, right? That's what we're aiming for this beta thing. And so you're going to hear a lot more about Tila on LinkedIn, which is where we put most of our stuff, but we're launching our own a site for it. It will have its own page on LinkedIn. We'll have socials for it. That's going to hit the ground running in January. So we're all prepping that now, trying to get ready. So that means no pressure, but I have to get 1.0 ready to go. No pressure, but I'm really excited about it. I couldn't be more excited about it because now we're wading in to the side of software that I don't personally know. I am in the dark. I've never launched my own product before. So I'm relying on Christy and other people who are ahead of me in this because I don't know. I just learned what the word ICP means just the other day, which means ideal customer profile, by the way. But I did not even know.
For a minute, I thought you were going to tell me you're an Insane Clown Posse fan, and I was going to be
oh my gosh, mad. Wow. No, that you just dated yourself some fears right there.
But
it's really interesting.
It's always prevalent to not like them.
Oh, gotcha.
Not a fan. Anyway.
I've just never had to wade into this side. And like doing pitches, I've never made a pitch deck. I have never marketed my own stuff. That's not true. We do big pixels, so that's a lot of similarities there. But it's just there's a lot of
marketing a service versus marketing a product are a little bit different. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're very right. Very right. In my mind, they're easier. I might be wrong in that. Not once I wade into that, but to me, a widget is much easier to sell than a service because a service, by its definition, is custom. Or at least what we do, it's a custom thing. It doesn't exist until we do it. A widget is a widget, right? I can know everything about this widget. I can know all its features and sell you this without even knowing how it works. I can sell you a car without knowing how it works. But if it's a custom car, I got to know how it works. That's the way I've envisioned. But ask me next year because we'll have done it for a year and I might be like, I was totally wrong. This was a horrible thing.
We talked about a lot of great ideas come and go and just not live up to the hype. And then a lot of other things exceed what you might have expected. So I'm looking forward to, believe it or not, there's not a good like wireframing, like low fidelity UI, but high quality UX like builder. There's a bunch that use templates and there's a bunch that give you some stuff. There's good ones for websites. I will say like Relume has one where you can describe the website and it'll give you a sitemap and then it'll give you like a wireframe of pages and what could be on those pages. And then from there, of course, you can develop your high fidelity stuff. But there's not really good ones for software and apps. Past your websites, there's so many websites for AI to look at and just sample structures from so many templates that are already built. But what we do with the custom software, a lot of times we just got to go many different ways than you can't just copy an app. You can't make the Airbnb of an app that does something because there's going to be things that are different every time. So the flows have to change, the customer journeys have to change, stuff like that. So it'd be really cool if we could have a Reloom style, like wireframe builder that does not all the hard work, but say you feed it a spec and you're just like, I need a flow to go from here to here. Nothing fancy visually, but just make sure that all the elements that need to be there are there and that they connect in a way that makes sense. And just spit out those frames.
It'd be so much easier to do that versus what they're trying to do now, which is, I'm going to go from a prompt to a fully realized high fidelity working app.
Yeah, that doesn't help people like me in our industry that, like, we know how to make a high fidelity app. That's the fun part. That's what we enjoy. We don't want you to take that away from us. But the research and development and the wireframing and fixing the flows and making sure everything's there, like, that takes a lot more time in the front. So if you could make that shorter, we could spend more time on the high fidelity and the cool, like, experience level animations and interactions and stuff like that. The little things that make people happy to use software and apps, like, that could be really awesome. That could be really amazing.
No, I like that. I don't think I've thought about that. And that's surprising. What an interesting hole. Because getting AI to do boxes and squares and arrows, that's chunk change compared to what it can already do.
And there are some, and I didn't mean to say that it doesn't exist. It exists for websites and can be done pretty well for websites. But again, it will give you the standards, like hero section, feature section, details, testimonials, CTA, footer, like those things. But if you're making custom flows, like within apps or custom software, that's where we don't have that yet.
Thought-provoking. On that fabulous note,
see you next year.
That wraps up this episode of the BizDev Podcast. Thanks for listening. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at hello@thebigpixel.net or connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. BizDev is a production of Big Pixel, a US-based provider of UX, design, strategy, and custom software. This podcast is edited by Matt McCracken, yes, that is his name, and me, Christy Pronto, marketing guru for Big Pixel.